Candace Owens understands that Americans, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, conservatives or liberals, are absolutely fed up with the corporate takeover of our government. And so she wants to get a little of that action in regard to the populist rhetoric that we're seeing resonate with voters. And so she's like, I know people aren't fans of pharmaceutical companies, but I love corporate America. I love the tax cuts for the rich. I love the fact that pharmaceutical companies are gouging Americans to the point where they're paying 2 to 3 times more for pharmaceutical drugs compared to other developed countries. But how can I go after pharmaceutical companies from like a culture war perspective? I got it, Sesame Street. What? Okay, well, Candace Owens is mad at Sesame Street because they put out a segment educating children about the coronavirus vaccine. That's like the latest manufactured culture war outrage that conservatives are engaging in. But listen to her rhetoric here, because she presents herself as someone who's against pharmaceutical companies, and I think it's fascinating. Let's watch.
The left claims conservatives are melting down over Sesame Street. Conservatives are mad about Big Bird. No, it's not Big Bird that we're melting down over. Big Bird is harmless. What conservatives, or any individual with a thinking brain, is upset about, and what we are responding to, is the big pharma pervert dressed up as Big Bird to coax children away from the decisions of their parents.
Children would need to deal with their parents if they wanted to get the coronavirus vaccine. I don't know if she knows that. It's not like children can just like freely go wherever they want and get vaccinated and do whatever they want. But nonetheless, like, put that aside for a second. Why is Big Bird a pervert? I love how the right wing just like randomly decides to paint whoever or whatever their opposition is as a pervert. Is that what they do now? I mean, like how pathetic is that? Do you have an actual argument, or are you just gonna smear and label people you don't like as perverts?
So we're gonna get to how she's trying to distract you from what Big Pharma is actually doing, right? And how we can help your family, and she doesn't want that. She's ironically supporting Big Pharma here, as we're gonna show you. But she doesn't want you to know the policy parts, because her position adds to your costs. You can't take your drugs because of how expensive it is. So she distracts you with, I wonder if Big Bird's a child predator. Because that's the only thing they got. They got culture wars, and everyone who opposes us is a child predator. So it was only a matter of time before they went after Sesame Street. Everything that we know and love in America, they've attacked, right? Equality, they hate it. Justice, they hate it, right? Same rights for everybody, including gay people, trans people, they hate it, right? Science, they hate it. Yeah. So now, of course, Sesame Street's wondering, incoming, 3, 2, 1, and now they hit them. Now, let's talk about Big Pharma.
Yeah, let's talk about Big Pharma, because it is fascinating that Candace Owens is very upset with Big Pharma, but she's not upset with Big Pharma over the fact that they're price gouging Americans when it comes to prescription drugs. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's on the record somewhere supporting the provision in the Build Back Better agenda that would allow for Medicare to negotiate directly with pharmaceutical companies to lower drug prices. Has she been on the record in favor of that? No, she's actually against those types of provisions and against those types of policy proposals. So whenever you hear these faux populists on the right pretend to want to hold corporations accountable, it is never in regard to these corporations refusing to pay their fair share in taxes, getting welfare from the federal government in the form of research and development money, in the form of subsidies, in the form of massive tax cuts. I mean, it's a redistribution of wealth from the bottom to the very top, right? Is she against that? No, she's not against that. She protects that. She wants to maintain that system. She loves it. The only time you hear the right wing want to hold corporate America accountable is when corporate America does something that goes against their stupid, pathetic, like superficial, surface level culture war garbage. That's it, that's all it is. Okay, so Candace Owens doesn't give a crap about a single member of her audience. She doesn't care if they can't afford the EpiPen. She doesn't care if they can't afford insulin. She doesn't care about any of that. What she does care about, though, is making herself look good as someone who purports to want to hold Big Pharma accountable. Give me a break. It's absolute garbage. No one's falling for it.
Okay, so I used to kid around about when they don't want you to focus on economic issues, they'll just go squirrel, right? And that's the entire essence of the culture wars. In this case, it's almost literal. They're like bird.
Totally,
okay.
Totally.
Like,
Seuss,
right?
Potato head,
cat in a hat. Okay,
it's just so dumb.
So she's for higher drug prices.
Yes.
Pharmaceutical companies love her position on policy. They love it. Every single Republican in the Senate is with her on this issue, also in Congress, okay, in the House side. So they're all like, yes, higher drug price for Americans because we're gonna get money from the big drug companies. But I called Big Bird a pervert, so I got him.
And by the way, it wasn't just a quick passing statement that she made in the middle of a rant. She decided to dig in on the whole pervert point. So let's hear if she has any evidence for why Big Bird is a pervert. Let's watch.
This is the kind of stuff parents warn their children about on playgrounds. Kids are told, if an old man approaches you in a car and offers you candy to get inside, you run, you scream, you say no. What this despicable segment masquerading as a children's program actually represents is Big Pharma using the candy tactic. You like candy, right? You like Big Bird, right? Well, do what I say and you'll be able to have that. What this is filth. It's perverse, brainwashing filth. These are child predators looking to persuade children to take action without the advising consent of their parents. People that prey on children, all of them, no matter who they are, no matter how far up the political hierarchy they exist, they belong in prison.
Candace Owens, by the way, just to put it out there, was a supporter of Roy Moore, who was preying on underage girls in Alabama.
So
you want to talk about perverts? I'm happy to talk about perverts. She loves perverts. Certainly supported perverts to the point where she wanted them in positions of power in our government. So
she thinks Big Bird should be arrested because he's a child predator. Because he said, hey, I protected myself by getting the vaccine, which 99% of the world's scientists and doctors agree with. These people have lost their, look, to be fair to Candace Owens, she's just a crook. She hasn't lost her mind at all. She loves drug companies. She loves higher prices on drugs. She wants to distract you, and she gets paid for this filth. And so everything she said there was projection. Their side, she literally wanted to put a child predator into the Senate.
Yep.
So, and the guy who she looks up to, Donald Trump, is one of his best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And when his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested on 2 separate occasions, Trump said, "I wish her well."
I wish her well.
The biggest child molester in this country.
Rapist.
Okay.
Okay.
She was the co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, and Trump's like, "I wish her well." And then you're worried about Big Bird? All those so-called Republican leaders and pundits like Candace Owens, they're just the biggest crooks you've ever seen. It's a grift. She used to call herself a progressive. She sued because she said she was discriminated against because she was black. And now she turns around and says there's no racism. Just a con man through and through. Look, I don't know how they live with themselves. So for her and for all the grifters, was it worth it? You soulless, you can fill in 1,000 adjectives here, okay? You're gonna go to your grave knowing that you screwed everyone over for your selfish profit. You're disgusting. The rest of us loathe you and treat with incredible contempt that you deserve. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.